This podcast is not affiliated or endorsed by anyone at Zalm Studio or anyone involved in the creation of Disco Elysium. Three Detectives in a Trenchcoat contains spoilers for Disco Elysium: The Final Cut. If you have not played the game, proceed with caution.
Disco Elysium is a game about sex, drugs, and disco, and politics, and violence, and drugs, and sometimes those drugs are used by children, and sometimes the violence is aimed at children, and generally is a game for 18s or over. Proceed with caution, as we will be discussing themes within the game.
This episode was recorded on the 22nd of April 2023. We present Thinking the Thoughts.
You know what, guys? Let's commit. Let's commit to making a podcast this week.
Let's start.
This is relevant to Disco Elysium. I've spoken to two different people about Disco Elysium this week, because I've spoken to a couple of people who were like, oh, I started playing, but then I kind of fell off it and things. And I was kind of saying, I think we've kind of found the best way to play it, because first of all, it's kind of committing. We're very much committing to getting this played. I'm not necessarily saying you need to make a podcast. Like making a podcast out of Disco Elysium is the ideal way to play it, but I mean, playing it with people who are also playing their own game, it means that when you get stuck, rather than just going, oh, I'm stuck, I'm going to turn the game off, you get stuck and you go, well, I've still got like another hour before we're due to jump back on the call. I'll just wander around, and then I think I've learned more about the world and kind of become more immersed in the game as a result of playing it like this, which I thought was interesting. So I've kind of said the best way to play Disco Elysium is with a friend, or two friends ideally. I thought that was interesting. Hopefully, this experience is communicated to our wonderful listeners. Hello, by the way, we didn't hear you come in.
Oh, there you are. There they are.
Oh yes. Yeah. I forgot there was a door in that fourth wall.
Wipe your feet. Come on. I'm trekking mud through the house. How could you?
Or were you born in a barn?
Born in a barn.
With no disrespect.
Leave that door open.
No disrespect intended to our listeners who were actually born in a barn.
That's fair. I apologise as well. That came from me. I've heard it in a film. Didn't think about the meaning until this moment. Feeling ashamed now.
Anyway, hello, welcome.
Hello.
We're going to do a proper introduction this time. Welcome to Three Detectives in a Trenchcoat.
Yeah. Three detectives in a trenchcoat. Three detectives in a trenchcoat. I'm Oliver Morris. I'm the big one in the trench coat.
I'm Dev. I'm the I was going to say the blue one. That doesn't work. I'm the one wearing a blue waistcoat in the artwork.
And I'm James, and I loved the artwork, but I do think I look a little bit like I'm following along after the plot starts happening. The reason I suppose we're excited and introducing ourselves in the context of the artwork is that we just saw the art for the first time over here in
Podland.
Whatever we call it. Detective Studios.
In the office. Detectives have offices, yeah?
Yes. In the detective studio. That's great. I love that.
Detectives take photographs of each other.
Oh, that's
our special time afterwards.
Selfies. Yeah. Just selfies, and then we'll look at our selfies and just start investigating ourselves, and then we'll get too retrospective and then sad. That's why we'll drink.
We've fallen off so quickly. Like, we were doing so well.
The Instagram to alcoholism pipeline. Oh, gosh.
The podcaster to alcoholism. It's something I think we can all relate to.
So, we did it, guys. We made it through Tuesday.
Yes, we did it.
We successfully.
We did.
Digged around long enough to get the gate open.
We are 40% through the game.
We are 40% through. We are almost halfway through the game. That's not even
Just
true,
to-
guys.
So just as an interesting addition to that, so I'm playing the game on. I got the game through GOG, and I'm looking at GOG Galaxy just now, and so the average playtime for players is 15 hours and 6 minutes, and with a achievement rate of 7%. We've currently been playing the game for 12 hours, and with an achievement rate of 4%. So I'm curious as to like, is 15 hours when people tend to give up, or is 15 hours like the completion time?
So, my game time, according to Galaxy, is 25 hours. Possibly because sometimes I reopen the game so that I can look at information while we're talking.
Oh, okay,
And
right,
that
okay.
counts as game
I thought it was because
time,
of all the
right?
times you died.
But I've also got 7% achievement.
Oh wow, okay.
What's been your most recent achievement, Dev?
Biggest communism builder. It's where you employ critical theory 9 times, and it's an uncommon achievement,
boy.
which does not surprise me in the least.
I've got a few here. I've got avowed inframaterialist. Don't call it a book club. don't know what that means. I've got baddest hustler in the neoliberal hood. Preach the free market for 9 times, which I'm surprised by, because I don't feel like I've been pushing free market too much, but I think it just happened at some point.
Hang on, let me.
But yeah, I've got a whole bunch. I've got a legendary one here, 0.1%. Cause a shitstorm. You brought this on yourself.
Oh wow!
Don't know when that was.
Where can I find my achievements?
Yeah,
I've only got 2.
No, this all. Oh, I got actually. No, I know what happened. This is all happened since we played. Because I finished Tuesday separate to you. Because I was like 4 hours away. So I did a whole. I did so much in the last game after we stopped. It was wild. I read something that made me kind of half die, and then reopened, and then I finally found it easier to reopen a ledger, and I read all my past case files. It was crazy. I did so much.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So my last achievement was last session, and I didn't talk about this, but I got my pinball on.
I'm sorry. You can play pinball in Disco Elysium.
You play Gurdy Ball, yeah, pinball. You can play pinball.
Oh wow. Okay.
There's a whole. I'm actually wearing a pinball coat at the moment. My if I check my hold on, let me check my swag.
Oh right. Sorry, in the game. Oh right. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't done a what's a check in a while.
Drip,
have we?
drip check.
Swag, yeah.
Drip check.
Drip check. What's that man wearing on his head? What's he got draped around his neck? Where'd he get that awful silly coat from? It's time to do a drip check. You know, if I just double check what I'm currently wearing, I'm wearing the Pinball Maker's coat. It gives me +1 empathy and +1 hand-eye coordination.
Oh my god.
This dusty old coat belongs to someone called M. Knifelocks.
So have you?
The name is stitched into the silk lining. It smells like moths and ancient engine grease.
So
It fits me perfectly.
have you gone across the river then?
No.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, this is all, this is a... You can get this, you will find this eventually. Or maybe you won't. But I'm a pinball wizard. I have such a supple wrist. How do you think he does it?
Is this just what you're doing while we're getting the game ready? Why is this not working?
It does occur to me that what was it? I mean, that's probably my favorite Elton John song.
It is a much better
Pinball
version,
Wizard.
isn't it? Oh, my drip check I don't think my drip check's changed since the last time I sent it through. I'm still wearing my amazing, what I'm calling the Javert coat.
Oh, of course.
Which is pretty jazzy. And then I switched out the flip-up glasses because it took down my authority and I needed authority. No, that didn't help. But
I love my drip at the moment.
oh, actually, no, I've got a hat now. I've got an orange bum hat.
So,
Oh,
As
yeah. Yeah, okay, hang on. Sorry, drip check incoming.
yeah, I don't think my drip has changed much, but it's all just coming together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a work in progress. Ooh, Ollie, you're looking swag. My God.
Thank you.
You look like you look like an actual detective.
I look like an actual detective.
You are the first one out of the three of us to get an actual trench coat.
Yes. And I've got the Dick Mullen hat as well, which just brings the whole ensemble together.
That's very, very nice. That's very good.
Also, my electrochemistry is currently sitting at 8 because of my gloves and my shoes.
Nice. So yeah,
But it does just mean that everywhere I walk, it's like, hey, have you considered doing the drugs? It's like, come on, electrochemistry. It's been 30 seconds since we last did the drugs.
Okay, here we go. That's.
Oh, you found the trench. Oh, yes. Ooh, that does look snazzy. How does that compare to our trench coat in our in-game trench coat?
I think
Slightly.
So you got the Javert trench coat. So Dev is rocking the Javert trench coat. James, you seem to be rocking the.
Oh, got
I'm
a nice
thinking that this is the
summer
indirect,
jacket
not
on.
indirect. Yeah, you've got like a lovely grey jacket with a lovely white shirt.
The Samarisian lounge jacket, a classic white summer jacket loved both by the Samarisian Communist Party and the accompanying subtropical drug traffickers. I did not read this before I read this. It fits you well, regardless of your political ambitions. It gives +1 to conceptualization, which is why I think I wore it.
I have just read the Intersolari dress shirt, +1 logic, good with numbers. Pressed and spotless gleaming white shirt, the kind that serious men wear at serious Intersolari offices. Brackets, not yet piss-soaked or cum-stained.
Jesus.
It's revolting.
I think we're all wearing the same shades as well. The logic shades.
The neat office shades.
Yes, I'm wearing those.
Yep. You can't see them under the brim of my hat, but that is what I'm wearing.
I'm going to put my flip-up glasses back on because I like having the +1 to logic and -1 authority, which the game typifies as filthy boho, probably a narcomaniac.
What do your thoughts look like at the moment?
Thinking the thoughts. Thinking the thoughts. Thinking the thoughts. Thinking the thoughts.
So
Ooh.
I actually need to do some fiddling around with my thought cabinet because Mazovian socioeconomics just kind of gives me more HP, and it's a -1 to visual calculus, to which the game says reaction everywhere, and -1 to authority. It says downtrodden inva communist, and I'm kind of like, these things are not. So I might forget that one. Because I've also got rigorous self-critique and magnesium-based life form that I kind of want as well.
Yeah, I have rigorous self-critique actually. I think one of the I read online a couple of reviews of this game, and I think there were a couple of players who I think perhaps correctly described as people who weren't playing the game the way it's designed to be played, who were complaining that you investigate thoughts, you spend time and like kind of like opportunity, skill points, investing in thoughts, only to find that the bonuses for realizing the thought don't really help you in the game. And I have found that that's the case, but some of the reactions to that from other players was, well, you know, you can by and large get through the game in many, many different ways, and this is about creating a character for yourself rather than min-maxing, which I think is a fair commentary on that frustration. Because right now, my overall bonuses from all the thoughts I've collected, this is all the skill points that I could have put into real points, is +1 empathy, -1 authority, -1 electrochemistry, -1 hand-eye coordination. My bonuses from thoughts are making the game harder for me. Which is not like, and this is instead of making myself more skilled. So it's going to be hard for me to play this game if I just reduce, but there's so much more fun. I'm currently researching 2 other thoughts. That will give me 9 thoughts instead of 9 other skills.
Okay, so what are our goals for this playthrough?
Yes.
I want to find a leather patterned bodysuit, a leopard patterned bodysuit, and wear it.
See, now this is why you're the one wearing the trench coat. Because you've played this game before and you know what's the feature.
I've actually never done this before. I'm sort of because I've played the game before. I occasionally go onto the Disco Elysium wiki and just sort of click about because there's so much of this game I don't know about. So just sometimes I'm like, all right, let's just chill. Let's just hang about. Let's just see what's possible. And occasionally things are possible. So apparently I'm going to get a leopard mindset. That's what I'm going to do this session.
So
Nice.
I haven't got an answer to that question. There are a couple of tasks which are time bound in the game for that. I like since I discovered the water lock and there was like given the task on like the Monday in the game of close the water lock on Wednesday. I've been looking at that task every time I look at my tasks, thinking it's not Wednesday yet, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. Oh my god, I hope I can do that because like the idea of not being able to fill everything else is stress free because I can do it at any time, including having it took me. I only was able to bring the body down yesterday, in Tuesday, right? So it took me ages to actually get. I just did everything I think I've been looking to achieve in the game. That I've been frustrated I haven't been able to achieve yet because it feels like the first thing you should do. I managed to do last time I played, which was nice. But the other thing is there's something called running the number on the victim's armor, which I was like, call Alice back in a day for info on the armor, and it's going to be Wednesday. So excellent, I'm going to be able to do that. Nice. So the time-bound ones are my goals.
Amazing. My goal today is to get across the river and get to the fishing village and speak to some people there because I've got a number of quests that are kind of are based there. I've got something the traffic hooligan. I've got to find the traffic hooligan. I've got to get 2 signatures for Everart. And then there's a couple of other things as well. So I'm looking forward to going across the river and seeing what's there.
So I think one other thing that's my goal for today, for Wednesday overall, so it might not be getting done this game session. I really want to help this Lena person find her husband.
Oh, the cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoologist, yeah. I just because I spend a long time talking. After Kim leaves, you get the opportunity to go back and talk to her without him bothering you about, oh, do we have time for this? And I spent a long time talking to her, and she's lovely. So I want to help her find a husband.
Groovy. Well, we've all got our goals.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Good luck, detectives.
Good luck, detectives.
Good luck, detectives.
I'm
FAB.
gonna stop recording and FAB. It gets me every time.
Hello, it's me, Oliver Morris, the tallest and therefore strangest of the 3 detectives. Just to let you know that we have a Patreon, and you can support us on Patreon for, the innate reason of supporting us. But also you get behind-the-scenes content and bonus content and episodes a bit earlier. All those good things. But yeah, it stops us from doing real ads and keeps us, in the black and all those other good things. So yeah, if you've got a bit of spare change, we'd love to have it. All right, enjoy the rest of the show.
So I'm going to tell you about the last thing that just happened to me.
Okay.
All right.
So I've kind of had a very light session this time round. It was lots of menu diving, lots of inspecting items, lots of following up conversations and things. I managed to solve a big thing, and I did actually crack a big thing that I can talk about later. But basically, it's been a lot of conversations. It's been a lot of kind of just following up on things and poking various different holes and things. And my drama stat suddenly piped up and said, "You're being awfully boring." And so I basically just went, okay. So my copo type has changed. I am now. I'm now regular cop.
Regular cop.
Oh, how
regular cop.
I'd say how nice.
So that's the thought I have. The research bonus is -2 to Inland Empire, nothing funky, which is a shame because I like Inland Empire. I think
Inland Empire is very fun.
And the problem is, okay, so it looks like you've got a bit of the normal in you, a touch of the regular, 4 grams of Johnny Normal Cop. You said some pretty boring things back there, and now you have 2 choices. You can either leave it behind and forget about it, or you can try to utilize your normalcy, internalize it, get a touch of vanilla back into the herring-flavored egg and licorice ice cream of your mind.
Flavored egg and licorice ice cream.
Thing is, right, I was talking to Isabel in the fishing village. Not Isabel, the one of the people you've got to get to sign the piece of paper that Everard gives you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I never took that paper. Okay, go on. Yep.
Sorry, Lillian, I think, maybe.
Yeah. I met her, but I didn't have that interaction, because I had a different discussion with Everard. Anyway, please keep going.
I do not work for the class traitor Everard.
So,
I decided not to. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh no, I've done something with the piece of paper. Anyway, but basically I've forged the second signature, which makes it invalid. So basically, I was talking to her and I was kind of learning about her history, and I found out that she had a husband who was drunk and died. To which my horrific necktie decided to pipe up for the first time in a while, and said the wonderful line, "Do it! Hit on the widow! It's the right thing to do."
Did you?
Oh.
No, because the check was impossible. Because first of all, Kitsuragi being there made it awkward, but also the fact that it wasn't a good place yet, and I needed to explore the coast.
Yeah.
So that happened.
That's cute.
The other thing that happened was I sat with Kitsuragi for an hour and a half on a swing. It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was delightful.
That was so sweet.
I also did that.
And I discovered a thought during that period, which was quite convenient.
Oh, really?
Nice.
So it was like, this was useful time spending. But there was another invitation for moderate racism during that swing.
Oh, was
if you
that
remember
the?
correctly.
I think I know which one you clicked on, and I was very much just like,
is it asking about the glasses?
I did not click on it. It was it was like, so is your dad, and then indicate at his differently shaped eyes or something, and I'm like, this is not good. I did like avoid that one because it's not something I want in this character necessarily.
So I feel like we're kind of burying the lead here. We found out what happened to our motor car.
yes,
we did.
We were the Joyriders the whole time.
We were the Joyriders.
We also found out what happened to our identity. Our identity card.
We found our badge. That was so convenient.
Yes, badge has been found.
On a meta narrative level, on a metagaming level, I really like how there's this. You have to do this by Wednesday, and then on Wednesday morning comes, and suddenly you find everything you find a couple of things you've really been needing to continue the game, and it's like it rolls really quickly, or can roll really, really quickly. Because I found the badge and I immediately went to Joyce, and I don't actually. You might not have discovered this, but I was able to fast travel back to the base, back to the Whirling in Rags, which is unusual for this game, and I can't see. I've looked for it a couple of other times. I haven't seen it, so it's like the one opportunity to fast travel I've seen, and within this game framework, that's very odd. Where it's very realistic in terms of how slow people move. Suddenly to be able to fast travel is an odd thing. But I think there's something about oh man, the game's rolling really quickly now.
So I played this game before it was director's cut, before it was the final cut. And I do not remember, or I never discovered the fast travel options in my playthrough. So I'm a bit of an old school purist, which is I don't fast travel in this game.
That's fair.
I walk around.
I didn't expect to be able to do it. I clicked on the button and then that appeared. I'm like, wow, I did not expect that.
I was surprised by that as well. Yeah. Sorry.
But again, from a metagaming narrative, I do from like just exploring how the game is as a game. It's interesting that you have this 2 days of exploring this small area. On the third day, discover this thing. Oh, and this is the badge that I've been looking for, that I can talk to Joyce Messier about. And yeah, it's from my experience, I had a very information-filled hour of gameplay just now.
It's interesting. It feels like the ball is rolling again. It's kind of a
yes.
It's a kick up the tuchus that it kind of needs at that point.
like I haven't been back to Joyce yet, but yeah, it is very much just like we're going to open up the world for you. So now there's a whole other area for you to explore,
Yes.
which
And you can whistle on a bench. Yes.
yeah, I failed that check. I failed a 72% check.
What
and-
happened?
So basically, I tried whistling and basically just sort of spat all over myself, and then my necktie yelled at me, being like, "Could you keep the rain down?" or something like that. But Kitsuragi found it charming, and then Kitsuragi whistled, and it was lovely. It was a lovely little moment.
If you pass the check, you whistle together for a while. That's really sweet.
Oh, I'm so sad I failed that check. Oh, I just want to get on with Kim. Like, so talking a little bit more about metagaming because I thought the game did it was a very small touch, but I really liked it. So did we all chat to the man in sunglasses
No.
who was charmingly obtuse in the?
No, I didn't really chat to anyone in the fishing village apart from Liliane. Because...
Oh no, he was in the Whirling in Rags.
Oh, that guy when you first. Oh, right, that guy when you first get down the stairs. I was hoping we'd talk about them.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was digging around in the back of the Whirling in Rags at that particular moment, so I forgot to go see him, and then I was like, oh yeah, it was that guy, and so I went to see him a bit later. But yeah, I remember that guy.
But I thought this fellow was charmingly obtuse, and I'm like, I have learned nothing, but something is up. It was interesting because basically you had to. The game did a little memory test. It was being like, right, what precinct are you from? I got it wrong. I said the 57th, which is where Kim is from. But it very much was just like, oh yeah, no, you're from the 41st. So I'm like, all right, okay, I'm in the 41st. So when I saw 41 on the car later on, like maybe like 10 minutes later, my brain went, oh, like my brain had the realization on its own without having to explain it, which I thought was really nice. Like that was just a nice little touch of. If you're like the game not spelling things out for you, but kind of just reminding you of a couple of things before you continued on with the game. I thought that was a nice touch.
So there's a task called the pissing contest, which you're supposed to ask him. It's something. It's about the rivalry between precincts 41 and 57. Is it?
Okay.
That you're supposed to ask him about when you bring the body down, but I forgot to. So it's a kind of a task that's stuck in my list, and so I had access to. I was able to remember or find the which precinct number I had from looking at that task again. But yeah, but you're right about the it being a nice reminder for just before you find the car. Did you find the little girl in the fishing village?
No, I haven't. But basically, because I ended up doing a couple follow-up things in Revachol before I went down to the fishing village, just kind of like, okay, well, I've got this new information. What can I do with it? And also, I started out with Joyce at night, so I had to kind of come all the way back and go to sleep and then have that wonderful sequence with the limbic system that I identified with slightly too much. Yeah, but just talking about how it's like, oh, you're so tired and there's so much going on, and you're kind of like leashed to this sort of meat sack, and I'm like, oh wow.
Here's a look. What time did you go to sleep in game?
I think it was about
Tuesday night.
10:30.
Oh,
See, I went
yeah.
to sleep around 2:30 in the morning.
Oh wow, okay, wow, you were thorough then.
Because you were like, let's finish Tuesday, so I got everything done off my to-do list. Because I only was able to, because I had a whole lot of things that happened last time. I read a love letter, I think, from an ex-partner that almost killed me.
And that straight up killed me when I tried to read it.
And then suddenly when I woke up, it was easier for me to read all the past cases, so I read up on those. So that took me to 2:30 in the morning. But it was interesting because I also I read that after I'd said goodbye to Kim, and Kim came back to me to revive me. So Kim had already gone and came back, which I think is a fun I thought was interesting because I was able to bring Kim back from his sleep to hang out with him at midnight, and yeah. Basically, Kim and I had a sleepover, effectively. Not quite, but yeah, it was, yeah, so...
So there's something in that nighttime sequence which resonates with me as an insomniac, which is the idea of you're still thinking. You're just pretending to sleep, but your brain is still going. Your brain is still spitting out ideas and stuff. And I've had a couple of times where I've gone to sleep, and it's like, especially when I've done something like active, like just beforehand, like played a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons, or had a really in-depth conversation, or I have something that's on my mind, like the sort of the dream becomes, you're still thinking about it, you're still processing it and like mulling it over like Dick Mullen.
Yeah.
And you and yeah, you're like, that sort of sense of, well, are you even sleeping then? Are you actually relaxing enough to be asleep, or are you just pretending you're asleep? I thought that was a beautifully written section, I think.
Yeah, like, I mean, first of all, I hadn't properly adjusted my volume for the game when I started, so the voice suddenly appeared and I shat myself because it was so loud.
Trying to sleep there, Harry.
yeah, like that was not fun.
To be you.
that was not particularly fun, but yeah, I love that section because it was. I think it spoke to this very particular feeling of like the sort of waking world is unbearably stressful and bad and scary, and as much, you know, I very much picked like no, I like people. I think I kind of want to pay more attention to them, and the game kind of mocks you for picking that. Like, yeah, just this idea that like everything is so hard while you're awake, but you don't have a choice. You have to keep going. You have to keep moving forward. You have to keep getting through the day. You have to keep investigating this case. I thought that was very powerful and very, very, very good. And yeah, I think it's interesting that we've it seems we've all got something different out of that particular bit of dialogue, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Another observation from kind of this from today's kind of gaming events. Did you when you create the bridge, the when you close the lock and manage to create that bridge to the other side? Does Kim? What was your reaction to Kim saying, "Oh, let's not get too far in our wanderlust"? Because I was thinking, it immediately occurred to me like the game's telling me that I shouldn't cross this bridge yet, and I'm so glad I ignored Kim's advice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there was this really weird thing of like Kim says that, and then you discover things that you really need to continue the game shortly after crossing the bridge.
I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, I think what quest?
I think it's a bit tongue in cheek. I think it's like, you know, Kim Kitsuragi's been running around with you for like 2 days, and he's like, all right, let's not. You're about to experience a whole bunch of new things. Are you gonna be cool? Or am I going to have to learn about cryptids for another 3 hours?
I suspect.
Did not find morale.
Yeah, I suspect it's kind of it's the game's way of kind of going, right, just reminding you that you're investigating a murder case here. Like, it's very easy to disappear into this into all of this, but yeah, like we do actually have a purpose. I think it's just because I think it is difficult to disappear into this game and to disappear into the world and all the side quests. So I appreciate having this little reminder, being like, yeah, remember this started with, you know, you've got a hanged person in a garden somewhere.
Although
you should probably solve that at some point.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to talking about that hanged person after we've played the next game, because I think we can't talk about it right now, because I've discovered things about that in this game that that you will discover. You are destined to discover, Dev, which is
ooh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I have thoughts. I have thoughts.
That's actually a good question. How far down the rabbit hole are we with the Hardy Boys, Classier, the autopsy, those kind of things?
I am still stuck with trying to prove my authority to Titus Hardy, even after I did something for Everard, which was just to kind of pain in the ass being like, okay, everyone said these people would cooperate, and then they're not. So I still need to improve my authority. My authority skill's quite low, so I'm like, I need to do something to boost that up. But yeah, I'm still stuck there. That's kind of come to a grinding halt. Also, there's a window that I want to inspect. I need to do a perception check on it, but basically I've got a massive disadvantage because the game just goes, it's not time yet. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm at the same point. I think I've got like an 8% roll check against Titus's authority, and I haven't tried it because I feel like that's indicating that I've not discovered how to do it yet. I just feel like there's no point in rolling an 8% check because, yeah, sure, if if there's more than 12 of them, then maybe I should do all of them and hope that one of them comes up. But otherwise, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. For me, that's an indicator that I haven't discovered the thing I need to do before I roll that check yet. Because I don't want to put like 6 skill points into authority just to be able to get past Titus. Because I don't feel like that's not what the game's asking me to do. I don't think. So I don't know. I just I think knowing more about what's happening, because now that I know more about what's happening, I might be able to use the information I got in this game, in the game I just played, to to continue the story, and I can see how that might lead towards a better conversation with Titus. But I'm trying to be a bit cagey so that I don't spoil anything for Dev.
Yeah, like I'm assuming it's just a case of like there's still things I need to find.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the case for me either. But I think that finding out the information I've just found out does make me feel like gives me a very different perspective on this whole case.
Oh, okay. See, is this when you went and spoke to Joyce afterwards?
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Speaking to Joyce, because she says she won't tell you anything about your badge. You found your badge,
right?
So I was like,
yeah,
straight to Joyce.
I think that's probably for next session then. Like I do like how we're kind of back at the stage where we're like there's a limit to what we can talk about in our playthroughs, because I feel like we were sort of all, as much as like we were all having different experiences, like there was a certain like, okay, we've all done this, this. So it's nice that we're all branching off. Speaking of,
I think that makes it very entertaining for the listener, especially like
yeah, the fact that we can't talk about anything that happened. Yeah.
This game that, let's be fair, probably all of them have played. Like, either they've played it and they're like, I'm just listening to people being cagey about information, or they've not played. It's like I'm learning nothing.
But I think one question that I certainly want to know the answer to is, Ollie, how is your playthrough?
Oh, good question.
That's very kind of you to ask. So my playthrough was kind of interesting. I went to bed. I woke up. I went to the bookshop and bought a bunch of books, and then I went across the river. I did not find the leopard skin print thing.
Oh no!
I think my reaction skill, my sort of perception isn't high enough yet. So I'm now putting all my points into perception, hand-eye coordination, speed, reaction speed.
Oh,
that's where the rest of my points are going for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I have a thought on that, if you don't mind. Sorry.
Please go. Yeah.
The thought. So the thought I just got gave me +3 to perception.
Ooh, okay.
Which is Kolda Mama Dakar, which is if you get really excited about this one of the cryptids.
So you found Morel?
No. So this is going back to the. Sorry to interrupt, Ollie. But this is going back to the lady after dark and speaking to her for a while about cryptids, and then I went to talk to a one of the. I think the gentleman next to the bridge, who sells stuff. One of the things you can listen to is something about this missing. I think it's like a bird or cryptid. It's a cryptid, isn't it? And then you get this thought, and it gives you +3 perception, -1 encyclopedia. So I have like this, which is cool because I was saying before how I don't have enough. I've now got net 0 bonuses from thoughts.
So you went,
and it's only cost me 9 skill points so far.
So you went and spoke to the cryptozoologist's wife at night without Kitsuragi?
Yes, because that way I don't get Kim saying, meh, meh, meh. We don't have time for this.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I need to do that. There's so much stuff. I'm like, I keep missing stuff. And yeah.
Yes. I think there's so much. It's such a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And Ollie's having a very different experience just because you and I have you and I are having fairly different games, Dev. And we have a fairly similar structure.
I looked inside a bunch of polls today. That was what I did. That was like a big chunk of my game was like, just like I looked at a poll, and because my perception was so high, it went, oh look, there's shit in all of these polls. So I just looked around a bunch of polls on the beach. There was like a half hour of my game. It was just like, what's in here? What's in here? What's in here? Made about 20 real.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, speaking of real, I found a shack that doesn't cost money to sleep in.
Nice. Very cool.
But I'd literally
I already paid 20 real for the night room tonight. Oh,
you
yeah,
fool.
I did. That was the first thing I did.
First
but
thing
no,
I did.
mean, I've got the keys for it, so I can still go to the Whirling in Rags. But like I've got both. I've two places to live now.
Oh,
but
look at you guys, 2 places to live.
Well,
But
it
basically-
depends how well things go with Lydian, right?
Refuge care not good enough for you.
Ollie, you were giving us a more general playthrough. How was your playthrough? Sorry,
Well,
sorry I
yes.
interrupted.
Well, like I say, after I, because I the reason I was like, I know I need to up my game or up my perception is that I saw the JPEG for the leopard print thing, but I didn't get a prompt for the leopard print thing. So I saw it in the game, but I couldn't click on it. So I was like,
okay.
I need to up my something in order to get this going. So yeah, so I'm sort of but yeah, and then I went round to the church, and there was a sticker on the church, and and I used my interfacing skills to peel the sticker off, and I've put it on the front of my ledger, and that's my game. I had a pretty chill game this session. I was like, like this is for me my favorite bit of the game is when it opens up, because the sort of the harrying and the hustle of the first half of the game kind of all sort of seeps away, and you're just on the beach, and you're by the river, and you're in nature, and there's just the whole sort of gestalt of the game where you're kind of in Revachol and you're in these sort of tight apartments and these, the oppressive nature of the hanged man like outside your window and all this sort of stuff all sort of fades away when you just sort of enter this other half of the, you go to the fishing village, and it just sort of relaxes. The whole game kind of exhales. Like I think a really good example of this is the fact that you spend 2 hours sitting on a set of swings just watching the tide go. And I think for me that is like, when you start the game by doing the Jamrock shuffle, just fucking running around from place to place, doing as much as you can, and then it's like, no, just take 2 hours to watch the tide dissipate from your destroyed motor carriage. Harry, you goddamn idiot. So yeah, so I love this part of the game. This for me is where the game really opens up. And yeah, so if you are a speedrunner, you can now complete the game.
I think if there's one thing we've all proved is that none of us are speed. Well, I think the closest we have to a speedrunner this time round is you, Ollie.
Probably me.
James and I are very much not doing that.
To be fair to us, Dev, it's a detective game which Ollie has played before.
It's true.
Oh,
I know who the killer is.
What happened and who did it? I hope to find out. We'll speedrun through this game.
Like, can I go yet? Can I get to the bit yet?
Well, so that's the fun thing that happened. So when I went to the lock, basically there was a panel there that highlighted. Also, there was 3 men standing there, and they didn't talk to me. And I'm like, all right, okay. I suspect they're probably watching me for whatever reason. But
Oh yeah, they're definitely part of the the group, the union.
Yeah, but like, so I just went up to the box and it was just said like, it gave me a description, said there was some wires missing, and then it just said pull the lever, so I did, and then it was like secret quest completed, and I'm like, oh amazing. Like,
Oh, nice.
clearly
Oh,
I
so
just didn't see the box before, so it counted as a secret
interesting.
quest.
I had as a quest, but yeah, cool. I like it I like the secret quest ones, to be honest, because it's like, oh, you were supposed to discover this before. Oh well, you didn't.
I managed to complete a secret quest by just putting a cool sticker on my ledger.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
It was an XD, by the way. It's like an X followed by a D, and you and Kim just study it for a while. It's like, what the? What? Kim, is this? And he's like, it's like some sort of hieroglyph for children. It's like he's smiling, but the eyes indicate that he's dead.
Until you said that, I had not pictured it.
That's very good.
Oh, dear.
So it's great fun. I love this game.
Yeah, I kind of already feel like I want to play through it again afterwards. You know, like I'm much slower. I'm one of these people that has no qualms of like playing a game with a walkthrough open, and I think the next time round I will be doing that. Kind of like, right, I specifically want to get this bit done. I want to see where this particular bit goes.
That's interesting because the idea of 100%ing this game is an interesting one.
Well, not 100%.
Because-
I don't think I'm not 100%ing it, but basically kind of going. There's a thing here. I got stuck on it. I sort of abandoned it. I want to follow this particular thread and see where it leads me.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I'm not sure. I wonder if it is even possible to go 100% this game in one go. I bet it's not. I bet you cannot amass the skill points needed to acquire all thoughts and all skills.
You need to do at least 2 run-throughs on hardcore mode.
Oh, right, I see. In the sense of, right. And you would be splitting everything across those 2 run-throughs.
I should have done a hardcore run-through. It would have been smart.
What is a hardcore run-through?
Checks are harder.
Alright.
Clothing matters. That's about it.
One of the small frustrations I have is Cindy has a check, which is a conceptualization check, and it's like a check of 18, which is high. But I put all of my points in. I've got currently 7 in conceptualization.
Oh wow!
And I have an 18% chance. I think I have an 8% chance of getting it. And it's like or maybe it's 18. But either way, I would have to. It effectively
Roll like an
have to do all
8, or roll like a 10 or higher, or something.
Yeah, it's
That's probably a godly check.
It is surprisingly hard, given that I want to be art cop. Admittedly, admittedly the check is to explain my artistic intentions.
Well, yeah, that's a difficult one.
So it's not.
That's
I don't
usually-
think it's like game dependent. It's not like a
Where
check
is your
that's gonna-
manifesto, James? That's what the game is asking you.
I think it's the equivalent of. I suppose that might be equivalent of the barbells in the. If you discovered the barbells, not the bar, but the.
I still haven't been at the back of that shop yet.
All right, really?
No.
Which shop
Wait,
is
have
this,
I?
sorry?
Maybe I
if you
have.
go,
Oh no, I have, because I got that rifle there.
yeah, if you go
Anyway,
in the
yeah.
bookshop and you go to a door on the door to the right, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
Dev and I
yeah,
have talked about it before. If there's some barbells there that you can kind of do some weightlifting on, but it's a really low check, and it's a physical check.
You have to first convince the woman who runs the shop that you're in fact Canaan Fields.
Yes, you do. It's quite funny.
It's like, I'm a paranormal detective, madam. And they're like, sure. And she's like, oh god, thank you.
Yeah, but it is interesting. You do find out kind of the story of the voices when you explore that building in full.
I've sort of explored. Basically, I failed a check and I couldn't get through, so I need to go back to it at some point.
Yeah.
It's so odd how you can have so many different experiences with this game, and yet we felt for a while like we had the same experience, but clearly quite a lot of it's been different. Did either of you? We've all had the body. We've all sent the body away at this point, I think.
No, mine's still hanging up there.
I think mine's in
Really?
a fridge. Yeah, mine's in a fridge.
Yeah, I eventually put mine in the fridge.
Yeah.
But I've since done everything I can with the body and sent it off Yeah.
Nope. My body is still hanging from the tree.
Oh, you're just not bothered.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
incredible.
hang on a second. There's an achievement you're going for here where it's like solve the case without
Yeah.
taking the body down.
I was
actively-
wondering if that's what you were doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
So I've just looked up Disco Elysium on howlongtobeat.com, which is a fantastic resource.
I love that website, yeah.
And it's saying the main stories for this game is 23 hours. Main
Lovely.
plus sides is 32 hours. A completionist run is 45 hours, and it says all styles is 31 and a half. So I think we're probably looking at about 30 to 30 hours is roughly, I think.
So, and how much is that in podcast episodes?
Oh, I don't know. I mean
20 plus.
20 plus.
We're going to have to create a new website of how long to beat, just putting in things in podcast
How
episodes.
long to podcast?
How long to podcast?
Oh, gosh.
It's really good having the world opened up.
Yeah.
And it feels like I didn't feel like I'd kind of fully explored what was there already, but it definitely felt like I was kind of wringing a few bits out of it and kind of coming up against walls and not really having too many avenues open up to me. But now that this whole other place is opened up, it's kind of given that feeling back that I had when we kind of first started playing, but this time with a bit more purpose, because I'm actually a bit like, oh, I actually know how to play the game now. I kind of know how it works.
Yeah.
So it's good. This was a good playthrough, as much as I didn't really do very much, and my necktie called me boring.
Yeah, but we can't trust the necktie.
He yelled at me for being boring. It was,
I mean, the necktie also recommended that you run away from somewhere and then killed you. So
that's
maybe
true.
don't
It
trust
also
the necktie.
recommended I hit on a widow specifically after she complained about men being pigs. So
I trust that necktie to the ends of the earth. I'll be honest with you guys. All right. Well, it's been real, guys, but we gotta get on with our real lives now and stop playing pretend in Revachol.
In Jamrock.
In Jamrock. We got a Jamrock shuffle out of here. So until next time, I've been Oliver Morris.
I've been David Devereaux.
I've been James Curtis.
And we are gonna see you in our trench coat next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hey, we actually closed out an episode properly. That was the most structured we've ever been. Look at us, we're growing. It only took us 8 episodes.
Three detectives in a trench coat. Three detectives in a trench coat.
Thank you for listening to Three Detectives in a Trench Coat. The three detectives are James Curtis, Oliver Morris, and Amber Devereaux. The podcast is edited by Oliver Morris and Amber Devereaux with original music by Oliver Morris. To find out more about the detectives and some of their previous casework, check the show notes.
Thank you for listening. Love you. Bye.